Hi, this is Jason Palmisano, founder and CEO of Trinity Fitness, coming to you with this question: how can we prevent from feeling overwhelmed in life? I mean, is that even possible in this day and age? And I tell you, I don't know if it's 100% possible, but I think we can manage it, this feeling and this sense of being overwhelmed. And so let's take a look at that, how we can perhaps manage that feeling a little bit in our lives. And because I tell you, it doesn't matter what types of organizational systems that we have, or we could have the best time management tools, but life is so multifaceted and fast-paced. We're dealing with kids' activities and family responsibilities, the workload that keeps coming, relationships and friendships that we're trying to build, and extracurricular activities, and taking care of yourself. And it's just so multifaceted. Can you even attempt to not feel overwhelmed in life? And like I said, I don't think it's 100% possible all the time to prevent that, but I certainly think that there are some ways that we can manage that better in our lives. And I'm not talking about time management systems or organizational tools. I think there's enough of those out there that are good. I just want to look at, help us recognize, why is this happening, or how is this happening, and what's a practical step that we can do about it? And I always look to either people, projects, or patterns directly related to my life that could be a contributing factor to why I might be feeling overwhelmed. So that is people, projects, and patterns that may be in my life. And so as we talk about people, is there somebody in your life, or a group of people in your life, that are demanding or requiring a lot of your emotional bandwidth right now, a lot of your mental capacity and emotional capacity? Because you have to recognize that that's a trade-off. We only have so much mental capacity or emotional capacity in a day, and much of that, rightly so, needs to go to our spouse, to our kids, our family around us, certainly some at work. But if there's a group or a person that is demanding more of you in that emotional sense than need be, and you're feeding into that, you got to reel that in and set some boundaries around your life, cut some of those relationships out, or cut them down a bit, so that you can have the emotional capacity to really be present when it matters most. And oftentimes that's with our spouse and with our kids. So how are you doing in the people area? Number two, projects. How many things do you have going on right now? What are you trying to accomplish in your life? How many irons do you have in the fire? Are you having a hard time saying no to people? And we've got to, when I said yes to my wife, by nature, I said no to all the other gals out there. I am 100% committed to my marriage, and I'm committed to my wife. And a lot of times we have to treat life like that. What are we going to say yes to? And what we say yes to by nature says we're saying no to these other things. If we say yes to everything, we're not going to be good at any of them. We're going to be frustrated. Other people are going to be frustrated with us. Deadlines are going to be missed. Walls are going to be closing in. It's not where you want to be. So when we talk about projects, what could you cut out of your life right now? That old saying is true. You got to say no to the good so you can say yes to the great. Identify those great things in your life and stick to those. We have a limited bandwidth. I know I do. And lastly is patterns. Are there patterns in your life? The little daily habits that are eating up your time. Could it be social media, too much time on social media that causes you not to be present, or too much time, whether it's TV, movies, social media, gossiping around with other conversations that are eating up our limited time, our limited bandwidth, which then pushes the necessary, the more important, the work that really matters, or the relationships that really matter. It pushes them to the side, not allotting for much time. That can make us feel overwhelmed as well. And so people, projects, and patterns, examine that in your life. So that's the why, or the how we could be feeling overwhelmed. What's a good practical step? Well, I'm going to go to the leader of leaders on this, because he gives us some great advice. And this is Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Jesus is talking, and he says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." I want to read to you the first 3 words of that passage and the last 3 words of the passage, because that's where the key is, the practical helps for you and I. And I have to keep going back to this on a weekly basis, sometimes multiple times a day, right? Because we've got things that keep coming into our lives that we have to make decisions about. The first 3 words of this passage says, "Come to me." That is a direct invitation from Jesus to you, to me, that says, I want to talk to you. I want to walk with you. I want to be close to you. I want to guide you. I want to love on you. Are you accepting and receiving that invitation from Jesus, a loving Savior, on a daily basis? Because when we don't come to him, we start doing things on our own strength, in our own intellect, with our own emotion. All of that has a limited bandwidth. Jesus, unlimited. And if we don't come to him and allow him to fill us and to refresh us, we absolutely will run dry, and that's that overwhelmed feeling. Number 1, are you daily receiving the invitation to come to him? The last 3 words of this passage says this: burden is light. And he's referring to his burden. He says, my burden's light. So if you're feeling like you're having heavy burdens in this life, like, the weightiness of your responsibilities in all the areas that we talked about, you know that something there is not from God, because he tells us right here that his burden is light. So it could be that you're carrying burdens that aren't meant for you to carry, and we've got to set those down and carry what was only meant for you to carry. How do I find that out? By receiving the invitation to come to him, because he'll let you know what to pick up and what to put down. Well, I hope you found that encouraging. I don't know, again, if we'll ever have a freedom from being overwhelmed completely, but we can certainly manage it by the tips in this video. Leave me some comments. God bless you.